And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time, Victoria 3, finishing up this Great Qing run. Again, we do have the major patch coming up on the 11th. I'm saying this on the 8th. If you're watching this on YouTube, this, I think, is the one going up on the 11th. So this obviously is not going to be super... The gameplay in this is not going to be super topical from a balance perspective to the new patch. Because I think this is going to go up after the new patch comes out. But I'm going to try to finish up this run, and we're going to basically stick to the normal schedule here. Over the last bit, we did get up to 1 billion GDP, getting pretty close to where it'll probably round up to 1.1. Economy-wise, we are in the process of getting the techs we need for electrification. I think the first one we're going to do in here is electric sewing machines, get more clothing going. Maybe by then we'll have the ability to swap over to electric engines. If we don't, I'll probably take the go back for brine electrolysis and electric sawmills. Basically, we're going to be building power, and power. At the same time, we do want to supply cars to the world and telephones to the world. Although I'm not going to get too aggressive with selling cars right now. One of the upcoming techs is internal combustion engine compression engine, this one down here, which has mass production for the automobile industry. This doubles the automobile industry output. So, yes, I want to sell cars. No, I don't want to be too aggressive yet selling cars, and that's in the near future. Growing electrical capacitors, electrical engine, radio. I may, at that point... So we could do arc furnace for that. I may just take the dive down to compression ignition. We'll be paying ahead of time penalty, but we are full research or full advanced research principle, which is going to reduce the ahead of time penalty. Is that 5% per? I think it's might actually 5% per doesn't sound that bad. That's like 3. Because we only got 3, right? So 15% off the ahead of time penalty. And otherwise, we're going to try to build ourselves out of unemployment. Our biggest expense right now is welfare, which isn't showing there because we haven't cycled any time. It'll show up pretty quickly if we start cycling some time. Let's get some time moving so that shows up properly. There we go. 5.64 million of welfare. So we need to be encouraging construction. So one thing I could do is I could let the private queue have our construction points while we're waiting for the tech. Instead of trying to... Yeah, let the private queue burn it down a bit. Let's do that. You want transit rights, which I'm willing to give you. Okay. Not quite there enough to bring you around. Same there, although we're getting pretty close to Nepal. But yeah. So we've got about 25 years left in this run. This stream is going to finish... Well, unless we finish real early, this stream is going to finish when the main timeline of this game ends. In 1930... I think it's the end of 1935, so it's technically very beginning of 1936 when it ends. I suspect that'll take 3 to 4 parts. It depends on how quickly we get through the process of electrification. That can sometimes be a bit tedious in a nation as large as the Qing. Yeah, we can see the private queue is happily eating all the construction we're giving it. It's maybe even an argument to give it more construction. Although that'll be harder to afford. Budget-wise, and all the subsidies are going to rail, I think, yeah. The other thing I could do, if this is getting too punishing from a deficit standpoint, is I could... Give us a good thing, okay. Could lower the welfare. I'm gonna enforce a treaty article. Can I get them to give me a bunch of money? No. Well, yes, but pretty much no. Who's on the other side? So it's, okay, so we're not able to do it presumably because it's an independence war. Oh, the Russians are in the war. Okay, so the Russians in the war, we want our state back. The next thing we gave to them. Of course, we mobilized to deal with this. Okay. Yeah, looks like the private queue can handle all the construction for the moment, so we'll let it do that to slow the burn. We're waiting for a technology for electrification. And when we go for the electrification, we're mostly just building power plants. The rest of the effect is already built, basically, for us. Okay, this is burning the investment pool down 1 million, so we got about 250 weeks to burn most of the investment pool down here, and then we'll have to start investing ourselves. Keep it going. So should remove transportation. Do paper would be an improvement. Quite a bit. Or automobiles, glass. Yeah, rejiggling the consumption taxes, get a little bit more yield on them, with the changing economy after all. The ones we added... Right, we expanded automobile production a lot, we expanded paper production a lot, we expanded glass production a lot. So those are all very profitable as a side effect. Yeah, I think we should mostly be winning the war against the Russians here. Although we're maybe winning on the front we don't care about. But yeah, we need to occupy that place to get the victory against the Russians. Yeah, we're running through the Caucasus instead of overrunning on the flank where we really want to, but that's fine enough for the moment. We're getting lots of naval battles here, which aren't all going our way. Advanced training. Okay, so that's more training rate for the army. Oh, I can turn the oil PM on. Makes that quite profitable. Okay. Waiting for the, still gonna continue waiting for the next tech. Okay, yeah, we're getting a little close to actually getting the private queue dealt with, surprisingly. So I should probably invest a little bit in building up. Government admin, where do we not have all the taxation capacity? Okay, that's not going to take long, but let that get done. Yeah, squeeze just a little bit more taxes out of everyone. Okay, we'll do another pass. Government admin for same reason. Just drive that down a bit. Basically, I'm trying to collect all my taxes here. Maybe not worth it, because we don't necessarily need the bureaucracy for something else, but... we are just trying to wait 7 more weeks, and then we're going to start major electrification. Which is supposedly going to be a little bit tedious to do the way I'm going to do it. Because it will be the first major thing we've electrified. So I'm going to go around and basically check every single location where we've got the industry and build or queue up the right number of power plants for that industry. I probably need just a few more than that. We were pretty close to start with. Yeah, 2 more. And that'll be all the taxation capacity we need for the current population. I think unemployment is actually getting worse. Okay, that's not desired. There's electric capacitors. Either going to go on electric railways, but now here's the tedious bit I'm going to do. we go. Okay. So the change I want to do is we want to swap every single textile mill over electric sewing machines. So that's 10 each, and the power plant, I believe, provides 50. 50 on the 2nd PM, yeah. So we gotta go through and find our textile mills. So there's 57. So divide by 5, because it's 10 each. That's 111, let's say. 111 power that we need there. No, 11. 56 divided by 5 is 11 and a bit. So there's 11 and a bit. Next one, South B has 55, so another 11 there. Non 50 there, so that's 10. And here, 53, so that's another 10. $56 there, so that's 11. Fujian has none. Beijing has none. Nanjing, none. Jingxi, none. Guangxi, none. Sichuan, none. Chul or Hunan. Shandong. There, we got some in Shandong. Shandong. Scroll too far. There we go. That's only 2, though, so that's going to be a pretty small one. Eastern Hubei. No. No. 2 there. None there. Nope. Nope. I think that might be all of them. Oh, no, I'm wrong. There's 4. So you'll get another one. Kashmir. Formosa. Mongolia, Uzbekia. Jilin. You can just swap. And the reason I get to swap that one is because of I built one power plant like everywhere to start. So if it's just one level, it's less than like half the existing power plant. That's why I'm rounding down also. I'm going through this list when I do the divide by 5. Okay, we're down far enough that these are going to be too small, but they're not going to be in there anyway. Annam, if it's got power, can just swap. King. Doesn't going to be able to type. We can toss one, or we can swap it, and then we can still build another one. Like so. Okay. So we wait until those are pretty much done, and then I can do the swap. So 12 weeks. One of our fleets was defeated. Apparently the other one wasn't, so let's go and just toss it where the first one was. Go back to rating. So the main person we're at war with has just been defeated. Australia's still resisting. Russia's still resisting. And here we go, this finishes up. With that, I think we're close enough I can just go ahead and say, all of you, electric sewing machines. And we haven't finished electric railways, so I should probably not wait for that. Instead, continue with other electrification. We'll do electric sawmills first, I think. What's wood looking like? Wood could definitely use the modifier. Although maybe there's an argument I should actually build more wood. Instead of upgrading the wood, build more wood. Because wood is pretty cheap to build. Okay. The other way I can do it is I can just upgrade them all. Or build them all and upgrade them all. Okay. That's all the domestic ones. And again, we're going to go pretty much everywhere should have wood. There's going to be some exceptions in some of the more deserty states. Okay, so it's 5 each, so 10 is 1 power plant, so most places it's probably like 2 power plants. I can't quite get them both on the same. There we go. So yeah, we can see there. I want like 2 power plants. Next. 2 power plants. Next. Say 1. And 1. Hit like half of 1, but we'll take the power plant anyway. Fujon. Say 2. It also looks like, well, no, well, if this wasn't the first thing we're electrifying, I could probably just do it all in some of these states, but we only got 1 power plant, a few of them, so we'll have problems otherwise. Beijing. 2. Okay, so Beijing could probably just be electrified right away. Jiangxi, Guangxi. Sichuan. Ooh, that's gonna want like 3. Hunan. 2. Western Hubei, 1. Shandong. 2, 1. It's probably got enough that I can just power it on. It'll be fine. Eastern. 1. Western. 1. And some of our places might actually need more tank station capacity. We'll check up on that when we're done with the electrification. That's 2. north. 1. 1. And this is the sort of tedious way of doing electrification. There's a slightly better menu for this that works really well when you think you have enough power that you're not going to be in absolute shortage when you do the switch. But because we're starting up the first couple things, we're going to have to do this sort of more tedious way, going through all places one by one. And then later on it will be reasonably easy to do them from the other menu. Okay, one there. 2. 1. As you can kind of see, the China doesn't have... China has woods, like, everywhere, but it's not... They're not big woods. It's part of what making this process pretty tedious. If we had, like, regional power grids, this would be a little bit easier. But that's apparently not a thing for this game, after they nerfed that. 34, so that's basically 4. That's why we can't just YOLO turn it on, because we'd be in severe shortage if we turned it on in a lot of these places. In fact, you're so small, we're just going to turn you on. It'll be fine. Casimir. 2. Osa. 1. Inner Mongolia. 1. Uzbekia. 1. Northern Jilin. 2. Three. So little there, I'm just gonna turn it on. Not gonna worry about it. Oh, and we got a textile mill there already, so I should probably put one there. Because the textile mill plus the lumber mill is gonna be pushing it. Three here. I think 1 there. So if you there, I can turn EU just straight on. I have to put another one there. It's going to be small if we can just turn it on. The existing one. Another one here. No wood here. As I said, there's some exceptions where we're gonna have no wood. Most of the places we're gonna have plenty. To at least warrant some degree of electrification. Power plants. The basin's got no lumber. Turkmenia has basically no lumber. We've already electrified it once, so we can just turn the saws on, it'll be fine. It's probably not like just turn the saws on, but we'll go ahead and give another power plant just in case. Yeah, that's where we were. We're building the lumber there, but it isn't built yet. Build a power plant to go with it. We're building lumber there, although that one's definitely going to be more just turn on. It's going to be fine. Tuva! Down to Tuva! Do 2 power plants there. No lumber there. 1, so we'll just turn it on. It's probably like one here, yep. Non has 17, so 2 power plants. Vulcan. We're gonna have 15 there. We don't have them yet, but we'll have them eventually. Astorana. 20 there, so that's 2 power plants. Thing McCon. Have to put 1 at least. Okay, let our queue work through. While the war with Russia continues. Presumably being more and more in our favor. So the front where we win if we just take 1 territory is solved. The other front, on the other hand, is on the way going on its way off to St. Petersburg. We got an event. What do you want? Your British government, because you want per capita taxation. No. Getting a little close to the government not being stable with the high taxes. Oh, and apparently I don't have enough bureaucracy because probably pissed off the deep bourgeoisie, yeah. So we lost the middle managers, just plus 20%. Which is stalling workplace. Okay, I'm a little worried about our upkeep here. We're burning 7 million. We'll do that. That'll fix the bureaucracy problem. I don't necessarily need it for the taxation capacity right now. That's gonna make people grumpy because their standard of living's gonna drop, but... Okay. I think we're far enough along. I'm just take the risk of swapping the rural building over to the saws. There we go. The ones that technically don't have enough power are going to be unprofitable for the moment. But... okay. Oh, looks like the British are losing. That's a bit of an issue. Well, thinking about it, that's not a surprising reason for them to be losing. It just means they don't control any of Australia. There's film. Does that make sense to turn on? Please rise. What's the price of fine art? Good. And it's mostly being exported. Yeah, we're gonna leave that off for the moment. It's not. It doesn't make sense to turn it on. Oh, fertilizers might make sense if I've got the petrol. You know what? Let's do that. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Stable supply of power. Progress towards electric railways. That's going to help. Let's drop that down to 5 weeks. So we're going to electrify the railway. Well, we're going to electrify the engine industry first. And then probably the railways. I think our unemployment's still going up. So that's probably a good thing that I'm backing off on the welfare, because probably got too far ahead of myself there. There we go. Next will be radios, which is good. But current predicament is... No, I need more government capacity, so let's get the taxation first. There we go. So that should be enough to get the full taxation capacity there. Again, we're dropping the welfare, so that's gonna cover the bureaucracy shortfall when that kicks in enough. So I'm not gonna worry too much about the fact that we're short on bureaucracy. And the next thing is we want to go through and do all the electrification for the engine makers. So motor, electric is basically 3/5 of a power plant each. This is a position where I need to pull up the calculator. 71 times 3 divided by 5. 42, 43 power plants. A lot of power plants there. And that one's 55 times 3 divided by 5. 33 more power plants there. And on as we're going to have 60. 56. There's a 51. So times by 3 divided by 5 is 30.6. $75 times 3 divided by 5 is 49. So you can see all the power plants piling up here. You're going to benefit a lot from this. And again, we're looking for our motor industries, because that's what we're going to electrify currently. Although I may have gone through it. It was mostly pretty. It was pretty centralized. Yeah, I think we've been through them already. Okay, I'm just going to assume what we are. Let that build. Oh, interesting. This doesn't benefit me. I should technically push this war to completion, because we'd benefit better from getting the thing off of Russia, but I could agree this... Oh no, this is independent, so I should probably say no. Or I could disagree, let the war end. You know what, we'll let our troops come back. I'll lower the upkeep from the military for a while. Supporting the Japanese workers, excellent idea. Political migration. Who's that coming employed to us? Minoritarian traditionalist. We really... Well... Total separation wouldn't be too bad. You know, we'll let you show up. We probably do want a minoritarian traditionalist over a regular traditionalist if we're going to have that as the head of the faction, so... Can I make you... Not yet. Disreputable bookkeeper... Oh, that's probably why we pissed off the Petit Bourgeoisie. They're probably in that faction, aren't they? Yep. No. No, they're not. They're in the anti-Russia society? I would have assumed that would be making them happy by being mean to Russia. I'll take that one, because that makes loyalists. Almost up to 200 there, we can bring them in. Make you a puppet. Okay, it's still... Even though I go up another 10, it will still be below 75. There we go. So they're all puppets. All the better for us. So to turn it on, we need to get them up to 5. To make it turn off, we only need to go below 3. There we go. So we just saved 1.6 million in welfare payments from the thing going down 1 tier. should double check and make sure we're nationalizing everything we own. Or privatizing everything that we own. Yeah, it looks like it. In so many weeks, we'll end up getting Social Security down again, at which point we should be getting pretty close to positive. On the money balance. Resource discovery chance, hardwood output, construction sector throughput, that's all good. Okay, far enough along we can go electrify those engine factories now. I'll do the explosives as well, so let's not use a brine. All the engines to electric. Go so far as they electrify the trains. A week cycle. And then down the bottom here, we got local goods electricity. So if I click on this, I can see our current shortfall. So you need 65 more levels. You need 50, 40, 25, 25, 20, 18, 16, okay. And again, queuing up a bunch of power plants. This should be profitable. Well, I say profitable. This should make a bunch of buildings productive. And then again, I need to fix the debt at some point. Which is probably just giving up on the welfare for a bit. Yeah, it's annoying that is. New mandate, new declared interest, new production. I need to put something else in besides the radio. Yeah, we're gonna go compression ignition. So we can make the car factories more efficient. Gonna hold off on making radios until we're done building these power plants, which is gonna take a while. Cancel there for that. Yeah, that gives some more. Give them bureaucracy back. Oh, I got a power block to do. We're gonna do construction for the greater construction efficiency. Get more done before less construction. Yeah, I'm comfortably close to bankruptcy at this point. And again, I think that's mostly due to the bureaucracy collapse. We were assuming that we had bureaucracy that we didn't have in practice. Okay, so they've declared on me, I think. One building. Nah. You know, we'll just take humiliation and keep it simple. We will, of course, try to bring our allies in. so that we can win the war reasonably painlessly. Oh, when did that happen? It's in this war. That's gonna be disruptive. Yeah, you can see the standard of living dropping, and the GDP is dropping, and the impending bureaucracy is not good. Yeah, I think we're going to struggle through bankruptcy here, because I'm not going to be able to get this under control quickly enough. Which is a little disappointing. Okay, I'm going to turn the railways off, which is probably going to sting. Railway subsidies off. Buys us a little bit more time. And apparently we had an uncovered front. Sometimes I hate this game for not communicating things. And I don't have enough to cover all the fronts. This is going to be the cheapest one to capitulate on. Oops. Pulling the cord on the headphones. So, the run is not going super well. Let the debt get out of control. I think we may still get it under control in time, although it's going to be real close. Yeah, we're on the best tax law for us. Now the entire deficit is the interest, which is yeah, we're gonna get the bureaucracy under control, and we're gonna get the debt under control. And we're gonna have a very boring last couple of years of the game because we're not really gonna be able to do anything expansionary. Unemployment's up, which is bad. And we're not gonna be able to get construction going fast enough to really make it go away. It might have been the change with the welfare. At some point they added on to Social Security minimum wage, so that might have been driven up the minimum wage too much trying to do that. that plus the war, and electrification's always a little sketchy, the game at the moment. Because you're never doing good. Now we went into bankruptcy. And of course, this has collapsed the entire economy at this point. This is one of the ways this game gets a bit frustrating. Everything just sort of implodes. I probably have people that support getting off of welfare. The problem right now is we need the debt to drop low enough that I can get the construction going again to get the economy to recover. Which is a problem because the debt's technically going up because the economy's collapsed. And of course we can't tell them we're off quick enough. Get all the subsidies off. Well, it's not going to make much of a difference, I suspect. Oh, and that wipes out that sector as well. Fun. Yeah, we'll probably mostly recover by the end of game here. But yeah, this is where we're going to put the part break in for this part. We're not going to... Well, we're going to try to finish out the run, but we're going to put a part break in here because, well, it's a good time to put a part break in. An hour has passed. We're going to play for 3 more hours until the run ends. So if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be another part up tomorrow. Don't do what I just did. We'd let the entire economy fall apart, because I, to be fair, had a lot of things just going on in-game, and the game can get spammy and all sorts of stuff on the back end. I'm not even entirely sure why the economy continued to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start subsidizing the railway again.
because we don't have enough. Don't have an. That's part of what really went on. I cut subsidies to the railway to try to stall it, and that wasn't enough. We almost pulled out of the nosedive without having declared bankruptcy. But yeah, you're watching on YouTube. They'll be part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I hope you have a good time, good luck till the next part. And with that, bye for now.